So this is the Assassin's Blade. It's by Sarah J. Maas, and yes, it is pronounced Maas. I actually have a video that I can throw in of her introducing herself. So this is the prequel to the Throne of Glass series. So this came out after the first 3 books in Throne of Glass, but I wanted to read this first because this is technically the prequel. And I don't know, online, a lot of people just say that if you read the first 3 books, I guess that 3rd book really gets rocking and rolling, and at the very end something happens and it makes you want to dive into the 4th book, but then technically the 4th book is the prequel, so then it takes you back to before the 1st book. So I just decided to read the prequel first and then we'll jump right in. So it is, I believe it's 5 little novellas, so I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to talk about it without spoiling anything. If there is anything to spoil, I cannot find tropes for this book, but maybe because it's 5 books and they're all relatively short. You know, I say relatively short, but Kindle did tell me, or Amazon did say that this is 451 pages, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. There are a ton of reviews on this book. It has over 547,000 reviews between Amazon and Goodreads, and it has between a 4.3 and a 4.5 star. So seems like it'll be good. The very first novella is The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. So I will let you know about this one and the rest as we continue.
Hey, I'm Sarah J. Maas.
Just laying on my feet. She just keeps meowing at me. Hi, baby. I know. Okay, the first chapter starts off with them having an impromptu meeting just all of a sudden, and it's past 4 o'clock in the morning and she's in her nightgown. She's also 16. By the way, her name is Selena Sardathian. So I guess in the first 3 books, I guess a lot of the readers, the audience, they don't like her, I guess because she's arrogant and hot-headed. I don't really know because I have not read the books. This is just what I've seen online. So this prequel, I guess, is supposed to show why she is the way that she is, but it starts off with her being 16, so I don't know how old she is in all the other books. Probably 18, 19, like most of these romance books or fantasy books. But it says she's seated in the council room of the Assassin's Keep. So that's where she is. She's with the Assassin's Keep. And Selena leans back in her chair and says, "It's past 4 in the morning. This had better be important." And the guy next to her says, "Perhaps if you hadn't been reading all night, you wouldn't be so exhausted." Called out. We all do that. Okay, so she's at this impromptu meeting because I guess 2 of the assassins are missing. So there's the king of assassins, that's Arabin, and under him there are 7 assassins. 2 are somewhere. So right now 5 of them are at this impromptu meeting at 4 o'clock in the morning. She is 16 years old, and it says the other men are significantly older than her. She is wearing a crimson silk nightgown. Her legs are bare. She's trying to cover up the top of her. No one is daring to look at her, but they're all aware of how beautiful she is. It even says it in here. Her beauty was a weapon, one that she kept honed, but it could also be a vulnerability. She's 16. I'm so grossed out right now. You're 16 and you are sitting at a table with 5 grown men and you barely have anything on. Also, let's talk about the fact that you're 16 and you're a trained assassin. Okay, also, she's at this meeting, and again, it's an impromptu meeting, but a server girl, that's what it says, a server girl pounded on her door insisting Solana come downstairs and not even bother to get dressed. So I just wanted to throw that out there on why she is not wearing much at this meeting, but throw on a sweater and some yoga pants. Just throw something on. But anyways, I just wanted to put that out there on why she's not wearing much at this meeting. Okay, so one of the assassins that is missing from the table, because like I said, there's the king of assassins and then his 7 that are underneath him. and there's only 5 at the table right now. So one of them is someone named Gregory. He has been caught, whatever that means. Gregory's been caught. His mission was a trap. He's not being held in the royal dungeons. And Solana says, then kill him. And then it goes into this little paragraph about why she doesn't like Gregory. It says, when she was 10, she fed his horse a bag of candy and he threw a dagger at her head for it. So I'm also wondering how old Gregory is for him to be throwing a dagger at a 10-year-old. But then on the reverse of that, she caught the dagger as a 10-year-old. She caught the dagger, and ever since then, Gregory has borne a scar on his cheek from her return throw. So it seems as if this Arobin guy, it's almost as if he's fostering these assassins. He just takes them in, because then in the next paragraph, it says that she became his protege and his heir. Arobin's protege and Arobin's heir, H-E-I-R. And it says that she's been with him for a while. And we did learn that there's another assassin at the table. His name is Sam. He's 17, so I guess he's only a year older than her. But why? I want to know why she's an assassin. Why this has been going on since childhood. What happened to her family? It said she'd known since they were children when Arobin took her in and declared her to be his protege and his heir. Okay, so I guess there's courtesans and assassins. I'm not sure what courtesans are, but with Sam, the 17-year-old assassin that's at the table, before his mother passed away, she left him with the assassins. I guess his dad wasn't in his life, but how do you just leave a child with assassins? I have so many questions. We learned another assassin's name. His name is Ben. Ben is 30 years old. Remember, Solana is 16 and Sam is 17. So Ben is 30, and the king of the assassins, Arobin, is 35. I feel that's really young to have an assassin's keep, your little guild going on. That's 35. Wow. Okay, so I guess he's doing well in life. I just want to know if we're going to see these characters in all the other books, considering this whole prequel is about Solana, but we're meeting so many people right now. So Ben and Arobin are only 5 years apart, and they grew up together and they trained together. So again, how young are you when you are thrown into this world of becoming an assassin and you're eating, sleeping, and breathing it? So they grew up together, and Ben had seen to it that his friend Arobin became the unrivaled king of the assassins. So who was the king before him? But anyways, Arobin is at the top, Ben is his second in command, and then there's the rest of the assassins, the other 6. And something's going on with Gregory and Ben, and I don't want to say what. I really don't know what is a spoiler and what's not, because I don't even know if these people are in the later books, but it's just interesting. These kids, they're just kids. They start so early in life with this. I just feel like there's already so much going on. So the book starts, I guess the guild or the Assassin's Keep, all these people, they are in a place called Rifthold. I don't know what Rifthold is. Is that a city, a country, a name of a continent? I'm not sure. So they're in Rifthold. They have traveled by boat to a place called Dead Islands. So now they're there, and I say they, Sam and Solana have traveled to Dead Islands, and they are meeting with Captain Rolf, who is the Lord of the Pirates. I don't know if I need to keep a little notebook going of who all these people are and the places. I am only at the beginning of chapter 2 of this first novella, and I have already said so much to y'all, but that's where we're at the moment. And again, if you've read the other books and didn't read the prequel first, are any of these names ringing a bell to you? Do you know who any of these people are? So anyways, they're at the Dead Islands. They're meeting with the captain, and he's 2 hours late to some meeting, but it sounds like Selena and Sam also just got to this meeting, so they as well were 2 hours late. So Solana and Sam are just waiting in his office. Also, I listened to a YouTube video that Sarah J. Maas posted because she has a YouTube channel and she doesn't post to it often, and it's been a while since she's posted a new video. But considering this book came out 10 years ago in 2014, she posted a video saying how to pronounce all their names. I don't recommend watching it though because there is a spoiler in it. The third or fourth name that she says, she then says, "Oh, RIP y'all, sorry." So now I know that person is no longer going to be in the series, but her name, I know some people call her Selena or Selena. I don't know. According to Sarah's video, it's Solana, but I'm also having trouble saying that. So if I keep changing the pronunciation, just know that the correct name is Solana. So they've traveled to, so it's an archipelago of the Dead Islands. So just a string of islands, all called the Dead Islands, and then the one that they're on is called Skulls Bay. Again, do I need to remember all of these things? Is this all going to come back? The Lord of the Pirates, or the Pirate Lord, Captain Rolfe, he's the Pirate Lord of Aurelia, Erilea, Aurelia. So is that a city on the island that is called Skulls Bay? I'm only asking these questions because there's always a map at the beginning of every book, but then I have no idea what is happening on the map. Also, the fact that I'm reading this on my Kindle, the map is super blurry, and I just want to know if I need to know these things for all of the other books in this series. So the Pirate Lord of Aurelia, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. So that is a city. It's a port city on the island of Skulls Bay, and the whole area of all of the islands known as the Dead Islands. So it alludes to the Pirate Lord having a lot of money, but then at the same time, he lives on the top floor of a tavern, of a bar. So that's interesting. And then also Solana, I guess no one knows what she looks like. She is the number one assassin, I guess, in her area, and not a single person knows what she looks like. They don't know her hair color, her eye color. They don't know her age. I mean, she's 16, and I guess she's just doing it all. But to keep herself hidden, she is covered from head to toe. She wears a mask and a cloak and boots or something. I don't know, but she stays completely covered so that no one can know, which is, it's really interesting. But the fact that they're on an island and it's very humid and she's sweating a lot is kind of gross to read about. But anyways, I just wanted to fill y'all in on that. Y'all, she also wears gloves on her hands. So she's just completely covered from head to toe. But also, it says right here that she is Selena Sardathian, Arderlin's assassin. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Arderlin. She's Arderlin's assassin? Arobin is the one that I've been talking about. Arobin is the king of the assassins. So Arderlin must be above that, or above him. Who's that person? There are so many people, and we're still only on the first novella. Also, so something happened with a couple of the assassins in the beginning, and then something has happened to more assassins since the beginning, because 2 months went by and more went on. So now they are at this area because Arobin thinks that the Pirate Lord, he thinks his pirates have something to do with some of these assassins that are being murdered. And they are here, they're assuming they're here to seek retribution, to get money or something. They're not really sure. Solana and Sam aren't really sure what they're doing there, but Arobin has sent them, and Captain Rolfe knows why they're there. So that's what we're all trying to figure out, what this mission is, what they're doing. But yeah, I just want to fill y'all in every time another name pops up, because this is a lot. This has been a lot so far. Again, we're on the second chapter of the first novella. We are 11 pages in, and we've just had a lot of places and a lot of people already thrown at us. So Solana and Sam are still waiting for Captain Rolf to show up. So for now, they're waiting in his office, and I guess he lives on the top floor of a tavern, and that is where his office is as well. So it's just an all-in-one, and his office is disgusting. And so Solana's just going through everything that's on his desk, and there's scrolls and quills, and there's the odd coin here and there. Well, now there's another person that we are possibly being introduced to. I'm not sure. It's a love letter, and it's perfumed on purple paper, and it's written by someone named Jacqueline. So do we need to know who Jacqueline is? Because clearly she's into the pirate lord, Captain Rolf. But once again, another character. We should just start counting the characters and the places that we're learning, as we are 12 pages into this book. Okay. These people are just doing the most with their lives. So the legendary pirate, Captain Rolf, has shown up, and he's in his late 20s. I think all of these people are so young. No? Do y'all not think so? This is just, it's interesting. And remember, Selena and Sam are 16 and 17. And this pirate, this captain, is in his late 20s. Okay, so more tea to spill. So Captain Rolf has tattooed palms and fingers on his hands that he supposedly sold his soul for, to have these tattooed on him. It's a mythic map, and it shows the world's oceans, their world. Remember, they have a completely different world than us. It shows the world's oceans, and then the map also changes to show storms, foes, and treasure. So that's something. A mythic map on his hands that updates. Okay, so they're not here for a monetary retribution. So they're not getting money. So Ardalin wrote a couple of letters that were sealed in an envelope that Sam and Solana didn't read. They didn't open them. They handed the letters over to Captain Rolf, and I guess there's some sort of black market deal going on, some sort of business investment, a trade agreement, if you will, over slaves, over prisoners of war. And then it just starts naming more places that I'm wondering if we need to know. So it says many of these prisoners of war are from Ilwe, Eyllwe. I don't know. I'm going to say Ilwe. But then some of them are from Melisand and Fenharrow. And then there's an isolated tribe where some of these prisoners of war might be from in the White Fang Mountains. But then a majority of them are also coming from Kalakula or Endovir, which is the continent's largest and most notorious labor camp. Oh, this is just filthy, making me uncomfortable. But they just named so many places. Do we need to know these places for anything? Also, it took them 10 days to travel from wherever Sam and Solana live to where Skulls Bay is. And then they are only here at Skulls Bay for 3 days, and then they'll be traveling 10 days back. So they're gone. This is taking about 3 weeks worth of time. I still have so many questions. So Solana is wondering why Arobin has sent them here to collect all of these prisoners of war, and she is under the impression that it's going to taint the reputation of the Assassin's Guild if they go through with this agreement, which they have to. I mean, this is their mission from Arobin, but they're wondering what's going on with that. But then on top of that, she is talking to Sam in their room. They left Captain Rolf's office, and they're in their little room. It's 1 bedroom, but 2 beds, because I guess we're going to be in separate rooms, but you know, since they're assassins and need to look out for each other, she said, no, we need 1 room with 2 beds. So they're in there talking, trying to figure out what is going on with their master, with Arobin, why he's wanting them to go through with this. And she says that she then starts talking about what she wears and how she looks. and she says that he spent a king's fortune on her upbringing. So she has been an assassin in training and then an assassin for a very long time. So she's only 16 right now, but I guess she's been doing this since she was a child, and he has spent a fortune, a king's fortune, on her upbringing. He's also spent a ton of money on her wardrobe alone, the fur, the silk, the jewels, and then just the weekly cost of keeping herself looking beautiful. But then it says, of course, though, Aroben has always made it clear that Solana was to pay him back, and she'd been giving him a cut of her wages since then to do so. What? It's almost as if she's at this assassin's school and just lives there, and once she becomes the best of the best, she then has to start paying back what was spent to train her and make her this great assassin. This is wild to me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so no one knows what Selena looks like. I mean, obviously all of the guys at the Assassin's Guild know what she looks like, but no one else. And she has been ordered by Aroben to stay covered from head to toe anywhere that she goes. Not just because they're over here at the Dead Islands, but even in her area on her continent, she cannot reveal what she looks like to anyone, nor can any of the guys in the Assassin's Guild or the Keep, whatever, nor can they talk about what she looks like to anyone. So right now, her and Sam are at dinner with Captain Rolfe and some of his other pirates and sailors, and she's just sitting there and she's starving. She's famished, she's hungry, she's also hot, she's tired, she's thirsty, and she's just sitting there as if she's a proper princess and can't have anything to eat or drink because she's covered from head to toe, and she wears so much. She wears her mask, but then she has on a tunic, a cape, and a cloak, and then gloves and boots. And she can't do anything, and Captain Rolfe is messing with her, saying, maybe you should take some of these things off. Is it my food that you don't like? Should I be offended? Is my food not good enough for your refined palate? And Sam is over here getting seconds of the helpings and just eating away and drinking away, and she can't do anything because she's not allowed to reveal what she looks like. Since she's the infamous or the famous, however you want to say it, Selena Sardathian, since she wears that mask and can't remove it and no one knows what she looks like, no one knows that she's beautiful because they don't know what her face looks like. So now Rolfe is saying, do you not want to remove the mask because it would make all of us lose our appetites? And some of the other captains at the table, not captains, some of the other pirates at the table are laughing at this. And Selena just says, keep talking like that and I will give you a reason to have to wear a mask every day. And then Captain Rolfe looks over at Sam and says, have you ever seen her with her mask off? Because again, no one knows that the guys, at least at the Assassin's Guild, they all know what she looks like. And so Rolfe asks Sam, have you ever seen her with her mask off? And Sam says, once, and that was enough. Captain Rolfe has asked her, so how did you become the protege to the Aroben Hamel? And Selena says, I trained for years. And then she gets all sassy and says, we aren't all lucky enough to have a magic map inked on our hands. Some of us had to climb our way to the top. So then Rolfe, he gets mad at that, and he slams his hands on the table and then turns them palm side up, both of his hands, and he puts them together. And on his hands is an inked map of their continent. And she says their continent. So I guess not of the continent that they're on, but it's an inked map of Selena and Sam's continent, wherever they are. And Rolfe says that the magic map or the mythic map hasn't moved for 8 years. It hasn't worked for 8 years. And Selena's thinking, 8 years. That's exactly how much time has passed since the Fae had been banished and executed. The Fae. So have y'all read ACOTAR? Most people coming into this book read ACOTAR first. So there's the Fae and ACOTAR. But here it's saying that it's been 8 years since they were banished and then others were executed. And then Rolf says, so don't think that I haven't also had to claw and kill my way to the top as much as you. Okay. Well, we'll see what's going to happen. So they left dinner, they went to bed. Solana couldn't sleep all night. She was tossing and turning. And she's now woken up the next morning and has decided she needs to ruin the deal between Arobin and Rolf. There's no way she's saying that she's going to transport these slaves from Skulls Bay over to Rifthold, which she's calling the capital city. So she is trying to figure out a way to compromise the deal. And then she also said she also has to figure out how to stay alive once she does complete the compromising of said deal. So, okay, here we go. We're on page 27. Also, I should have pointed this out. Solana isn't just going around the world starving because she has to stay completely covered. She eats in solitude in her bedroom, unfortunately, which is kind of a sad life to live. If you're out and about, you can't eat. So she can eat at her home, but that's it. So even right now, it's the next morning. She didn't eat dinner last night, which makes me sad. But now it's morning and she's going to go talk to Captain Rolf, and she has told Sam, please have breakfast in the room waiting for me whenever I get back. So I just wanted to fill y'all in on that she's just not going around starving. Sam and Selena also grew up together. It's as if they're all brothers and sisters that have just all been raised together to become assassins. So she is trying to, make the mission not happen, but Sam doesn't know that, but he knows she's doing something because she went off without him to go talk to Captain Rolf. She said she had to go ask him some questions. So now she's back in the room, she's eating breakfast, and Sam is saying, okay, so what kind of questions did you have for him? And she's just sort of dodging everything that he's asking, and then he finally says, can you just tell me the truth? And she says, what makes you think I'm not telling the truth? And he says, look, we grew up together. I know when you're scheming something. So I guess this is going to be the part where she fills Sam in on what she wants to do, and we'll see if he's going to help her free the prisoners of war or not. This is the third time Sam has said to Solana, you're not head of the Assassin's Guild yet. You still answer to Arobin. Yet. You're not head of the Assassin's Guild yet. He has said that multiple times. He said it in the first chapter when they were arguing at 4 o'clock in the morning over what to do about the missing assassins. And now he's saying it again. So is that some sort of foreshadowing? Because again, I haven't read the other books that came first in this series. So is she head of the Assassin's Guild in the other books? When do they retire? So if the king of the assassins is, what was he, 30, 35? If she's not head yet, it sounds like she will be. So when will he retire? Food for thought, y'all. Some food for thought. We are at the part now. Also, I'm in the kitchen. I just made some lunch. I got some seaweed, salmon, cucumber. I made some spicy mayo. I got an apple with a ton of tahini on it. Green tea, a little maple brown sugar stick. I am still drinking this from this morning. I always have a sparkling water with lunch too, but I've got my Kindle propped up on a candle. So we have learned that Sam's mom was only 28 years old when she passed away. She became pregnant at 22, passed away at 28. So Sam was 6 years old when he became an orphan, because again, I don't know anything about his dad. They haven't said anything. And his mom was sold or forced to work at a brothel. And I guess she joined the brothel at 8 years old. 8 years old. This book is dark in a different sense, and I'm not a fan. I don't like dark. I read to escape, so I want to read something happy. So anyways, they're with all the slaves, the prisoners of war. They're searching them, studying them, making sure that they're, good enough to take back on that, the 10-day journey. But, we know Solana is going to free them. That's her plan, is to free them. And so they're with Captain Rolf. He has no idea what's going on. And so Solana's just asking questions, what do the men usually go do when you sell them? What do the women do? What about the children? Because there's about 10 kids. And he said that what's her name? A brothel madam is going to be at the auction block. And sometimes brothel madams will take the young girls. And so it made Sam kind of go into a flashback thinking about when his mom was 8 years old and got put into a brothel. And then she was murdered when she was 28 years old by a jealous client. It doesn't really go into any more detail. I'm not really sure. Jealous of what? It couldn't have been jealous of the pregnancy. Sam was 6 years old when it happened. But Arobin, I guess, knew his mom. Not sure how. Maybe Arobin was just, getting kicks on the side from Sammy's mom. So Arobin and the mom kind of had like an agreement, and she really likes Arobin and his style of training, and so she wanted Sam to go train as an assassin. And so Sam joined Arobin's guild when he was 6 years old. 6 years old. Anyways, that's where we're at right now. Sam seems to think something else is going on here. He thinks there's something more at play than just this trade agreement between Captain Rolf and then his master Arobin. He's kind of going into conspiracy theory mode, and Solana's just saying, we don't have time for this right now, but we'll circle back to this once we're done freeing these prisoners of war. But she did ask him, what do you mean? Why do you think there's more than just this trade agreement that's going on? And he says, well, why would Arobin send the two of us here in the first place? His excuse for sending us was a lie, which is true, because they thought they were going to get retribution or some sort of pay for all of the assassins that keep getting murdered by the pirates. But then come to find out that actually wasn't why they're there. They are now here to bring slaves home. And so he's saying he lied to us about that. He said, we're not instrumental in this deal. It didn't need to be Selena and Sam going to get these prisoners of war. He's saying that Arobin could have sent any other assassin, especially two that aren't at each other's throats all the time, because Selena and Sam do argue a lot. I mean, come on, they're 16 and 17. Let's not forget that. They may be skilled assassins, but they're still teenagers. And so Selena's just, she's asking, well, what are you implying? Why do you think that he sent us here? And he's saying, well, perhaps Arobin wanted to get us out of Rifthold for a month. Because remember, they're gone for, 23 days? It took 10 days to get there. It'll take 10 days to get back. And they're there for 3 days. So they are gone for close to a month, a little over 3 weeks. And so Sam is thinking that Arobin wanted to get them out of Rifthold for a month, but he's not sure why. And then he brings up two of the assassins that weren't in that meeting at the very beginning of the book, and he thinks there's something fishy going on about that. And so Selena goes, we can trust Arobin. And then she just kind of takes it back in her inner monologue, because obviously she can't, because she doesn't even like what he's doing right now with this trade agreement. She's about to go against the mission and free them. So I'm curious to know if anything that we're learning here about Sam wanting to, I guess, question Arobin and question his motives. I wonder if any of that comes into play in the later books, or shoot, even now in the prequels that are going to follow this. But we'll see. Solana is out on a walk right now, and it says she turned north towards the breeze, because remember, she's covered from head to toe, so she's always hot. They're also, on an island, so it's humid. So she turns north towards the breeze and smells a faraway land that she hadn't seen in 8 years. Pine and snow, a city still in winter's grasp. Did any of y'all read ACOTAR? Why am I thinking about the Winter Court? Even the Court of Nightmares. All of it. So this is all north. She hasn't seen it in 8 years. She breathed it in, staring across the leagues of the lonely black ocean, seeing somehow that distant city that had once long ago been her home. It's called Orinth, Orynth, Orinth, which I don't remember reading about Orinth in any of the ACOTAR books. It's a city of light and music, watched over by an alabaster castle with an opal tower so bright it could be viewed for miles. What is Sarah J. Maas trying to tell us here? And then a couple paragraphs later, it says, she knew all the constellations by heart, and she instinctively sought out the stag, lord of the north, and the immovable star that crowned his head. Lord of the north. And then she just starts thinking about her path in life and what she's doing, because, come on, she kills people for a living. But then she's saying, it's either this or death. What else am I going to do? And then it says that she is just as limited now in her choices as she was when she was 8 years old. What? When you were 8 years old, she had to make that decision, either go train to be an assassin or die. Also, I think I need to go back and watch my own clips of me rehashing this novella, because 8 keeps getting brought up a lot. It's been 8 years since there were Fae, since they were either banished or executed. Sam's mom was 8 years old when she got sold to the brothel, and now it looks like Solana was 8 years old when she started working under Arabin. More people, more places, and now more languages. So they've now officially met the prisoners of war that are going to be going home with them back to their continent. I guess the first set of slaves were going to be sold to somebody else. So now this second set that has come in are the ones that Selena and Sam are taking back with them when they leave Skulls Bay. So one of them, his name is Dia, D-I-A. And he speaks, it's called the common tongue. So what Captain Rolfe, Selena, Sam, what everyone is speaking right now, they call it the common tongue. But it seems to be that most of these prisoners of war speak other languages. I mean, multiple other languages. Not each person speaking a few languages. I'm meaning each set of people, because they're all from different places. Remember I was naming out all the different cities? I guess every place has its own language. And Selena's asking Dia, so you're fluent. And he says, well, my mother was from Belhaven. That was one of the places that I named earlier. And my father was a merchant from Benjali. So Benjali, there's another place that's new to us. And then he said, I grew up with both languages. So now we've added that into the mix. How many languages do we need to know for this Throne of Glass series? Remember the mythic map on Captain Rolfe's hands of the continent? And I had said that Selena said that he sold his soul to get that inked on him because it's magical, but it hasn't worked in 8 years. So they're all at the tavern drinking, having a grand old time. And she asked Captain Rolfe, did you really sell your soul to get this on your hands? And he says, when you show me your face, I'll tell you the truth. So I want to know more about this map. It's entertaining because remember, it's on his palms and his fingers. It can show storms, foes, treasures. I'm very interested in this, but he wants her to remove her mask, and we all know she's not going to do that. She took off her mask, guys. She took off her mask in front of Captain Rolfe. So they're getting into it in an alleyway, and I don't mean that kind of getting into it. She and Sam are trying to free both sets of prisoners. So it's about 200 slaves, 200 prisoners of war. They're trying to free both of them. And so they're trying to distract the entire town. So I mean, everyone, the pirates, the sailors, what did they say? The lowlife, the peasants, the harlots, they're all at the bar because Sam and Selena opened up a tab on them and said, come drink and be merry. And so everyone's getting wasted right now. And this has been going on for a couple hours. And at this point, everyone is blitzed. And so now that the whole town is in the bar drinking, Selena tripped one of the guys intentionally without anyone noticing that she tripped him. He fell into another guy. And so now there's just this whole brawl. Everyone's fighting. So Selena and Sam, they snuck out. They're going to go check on the ships, make sure their slaves are getting away, that they're escaping. And Captain Rolf walks up and says, "Going somewhere?" And so she tells Sam, she looks at him and she says, "Run, go now." And so Sam is going to go check on the ships and make sure that those people are getting away. And Rolf looks over at Solana and she's trying to distract him because she doesn't want him to go after Sam. And so she takes her mask off and he sees how beautiful she is. But first and foremost, he sees that she's a very young woman. She's a 16-year-old teenager. And he says, "What is this? What sort of trickery is this?" So, okay, let's see what happens. All right, I finished the first novella. It just ended and immediately took me to The Assassin and the Healer. What was the first one called? What did I just read? The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. So, you know, it went down. Her and Sam, they, you know, I didn't tell y'all about all those pages and pages, but, you know, the way they were dismantling everything to get the prisoners of war to be able to escape. But then at the end, you know, she was threatening Captain Rolf and she almost killed him, and she made him agree to never embark on any sort of slave trade agreement ever again. I mean, she made him write a letter and sign it. And so she's going to go take that back to Arabin and say, "I don't know, Captain Rolf just isn't going to do this." So, and then it ended. It just ended. So I don't actually know what's going to happen. It ended with her getting that letter from Captain Rolf and then going to find Sam. And then Sam saying, "All right, let's just see what awaits us." And then now the second novella has started. But that was really good. I'm now on page 77, which is this main page that says The Assassin and the Healer. So I guess that first novella was 76 pages long. There are some things that I did leave out. I did tell y'all a lot, but there's a few things that I left out. But for the most part, there weren't really a ton of spoilers. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. I'm just going to post this first novella because I think we're already at 35 minutes or something for me just talking about the first novella. So I don't want to talk about all of them because that would just end up being so long. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you want me to post the rest of the novellas because I definitely will. All right, bye y'all.